Yep, looks like we're... Whoa, why have I got no display going on here? Ah, that's better. That was weird. Hey there, Jim. Looks like you got it this time. Just hold that steady cam there. Alrighty. Hey there, moles. So we have to try and pick a colour tonight. And once we've chosen that colour, we can never change it. I've only got the 3 at the moment. I could have got more, but I was trying to conserve a little bit of money. So basically this is to replace the mesh silicon matte. Mostly because I'm kind of trying to find out if the mesh pattern is sucking up my bitrate resources, or if it's actually just no one really cares, or it doesn't matter or anything like that. So yeah, it's a exploratory phase, I suppose, kind of like university years. Hey Teresa, hey David, Andrew. The pink certainly comes up very nice, I will say. I'll roll them out, I'll throw some stuff on and see how we feel about the various colours. Now I've got both my lights on. I might have to change them around. You can sort of the shadow cast is fairly even between them, but yeah, we'll give it I mean, I quite like the pink myself, I will admit, but anyway, so we go for the grey. As you can see, I've already used this. Might zoom in a little so we don't have the trimming of the edge. There you go. So now you have basically no idea what's going on. Let's throw some objects on there. Okay. As you can see, there's these gloves. I might have to change the gloves. They're just so drab. Okay, a bit of yellow. I really should get myself one of those color booklets. People who do videos and photography will know what I mean by the color booklet. Okay, red, green, blue pens. So that's the grey. Now let's find a MacBook board, since that's probably something that we might do a bit. The grey is nice. Yeah, okay, so that's MacBook board. It sort of gets a little bit washed out, but when you spend most of the time under the microscope anyway. Certainly when it comes to with the colours, the grey looks nice there. Okay, let's try the blue. Let's roll this up. Of course, there's always the option of going back to natural, and it just looks like someone got very scared one night. Okay, blue. Interestingly, it's actually somewhat transparent. Yeah, actually, that really is transparent. Good. Again, the contrast is nice. Like I say, I'm actually quite surprised how transparent this is. I might have to put the grey under that, because it lets through a lot of, like I said, you can see the sharp marks. I'm starting to wonder if you can't really go wrong. Like, it doesn't really matter which one you choose. Maybe I have one for each different colour of the day, or a different day. Hey there, John. David does not like the blue, whereas Andrew does. Why don't you like the blue, David? Any particular grey look better? I think the grey might have looked better because it didn't have this transparency. What I should do is put the grey under here and have a look at that. looks blue. Wow, Struth. Who would have thought? Try all three. That's a little bit excessive. Okay, so we're going with the grey. The grey is definitely more opaque. Okay, and then the blue over the grey. Camera's on backwards, so I'm kind of struggling to get my orientations. Hey, laptop, too bright the blue. Well, I mean, we can spectrally tune it down, but it's about right. Looking at the screen, or at least for me, mind you, my screen's probably pretty crap. All right, well that's blue. Blue is good. Let's roll these up. You think the blue is going to be worse over time? Okay, we're pink time now. I'll just roll up the grey. The trouble with the grey, I'm worried about, it's going to get dirty real quick. So I'm going to have to pretty much wash these every day. Okay, actually I just noticed the pink is also equally transparent. You just don't notice it as much. The other thing is, I think the pink is blowing the highlights on the camera or something. Either that or there is an element of fluorescence in the pink that I'm seeing, because it does not... It's kind of like bubblegum pink for me in real life, but it's showing a bit darker on screen. Pink is way too bright. You people are just too used to dark themes. You're all a bunch of whiners. So the trouble I find with the grey is that it just feels so lifeless. Components on the left map stand out. Components left on the map may stand out more. Blue is pleasing. Pink pad. Dark forest green. I was thinking about getting a green, but the trouble I'm suffering at the moment with my existing videos is that I have too much blue-green. Like, the gloves are terrible. At least, yeah, I thought the greeny gloves kind of contrast nicely on the pink, but anyway. It is bright. It is bright in real life too, I will point out. Aqua, again, I'm trying to avoid the blue-greens. This sort of kind of thing, mints, aqua, green. Anyway, UV, yes, it could be, what do you call it? Like I said, it could be fluorescing somewhat. People complain because they're not used to it, but it is not. I do like it in still shots. I will admit that when I did some work today, and then I went back over the video, I liked the pink. It gave it the sort of YouTube quality, as it were. Some people might consider that not such a quality. Orange, I would say, might be a little bit too painful for me, even. Bright, oh yeah, orange and yellows. Anything with too much yellow, yuck. Deep black. The contrast on this is very good because you don't really get a lot of pink stuff in electronics. You know, you've either got... We'll get the pens out of the way because they're actually unnatural so far as our repairs go. You get a lot of boards and stuff like that. And so in these sort of scenarios, the pink works well. Oh my goodness, purple. Let's just mix red and blue together. Why not? Alright, well, maybe people just need to get used to it. I don't know. Maybe no one's got taste except me. Pink is okay. Alright. So if we go back to grey. Yeah, I know you've been saying, Teresa, what's that? Yeah, so this is, grey just feels so lifeless. purple can go to hell. Yeah. I'm not ignoring you. Don't be like that. See, you got the purplish tone. Now it looks like a magician's table. But the problem I find with the blue is that there's so much of what we do that is blue. Yeah, blue tones in it and stuff like that. And it's like, kind of getting a little... Oh, here's some orange anyway I found. Hey, Jan Zimmy. Oh, there's a 3D print of prism that I've done. 3D print of that. Here's some orange. You also got to be careful that the blue is strong enough that you can get that weird focal imbalance with your brain. I'm overthinking it? Yeah, to a degree, but there's also it's nice to have a platform that at least is works with the content, if you know what I mean. It's like, yeah, if you've got a janky, badly lit scene, then it's difficult to make good content out of it. The orange naturally will stand out very strongly against the blue because you've got the red component versus the blue component, so that's to be expected. So yeah, the other thing is that maybe the grey is actually still the better choice because, sure, while it's on its own, the grey looks drab and boring. But once you start adding things to the grey, then it's less of an issue. So maybe the problem is that we're looking for interest or niceness with what is basically not supposed to be what you care about, i.e. the background. It's supposed to be a background that doesn't interfere, but maybe complements things, but yeah, doesn't get in the way. Lewis has dark grey silver. The trouble I find with the dark greys is that it really does overblow your lighting. Because, I mean, I suppose if I set the spot meter each time, bloody hell. Yeah, here's grey. So yeah, grey with nothing on it is profoundly drab. But maybe as we add more content, it's going to be okay. So we'll just give this a run. We'll start with grey, build some stuff, and see how we go. See, my wife is at the window there. Who are you showing off? Oh, Loki. Hello, Loki. He's like, I don't want to know anything about it. Go away. Take me to the biscuits. Yeah. Well, this is the beautiful thing about asking for opinions, is that you're always going to get conflicting opinions. I'm going to start with the grey. I personally, during the daylight, don't mind using the pink. Unfortunately, I don't have the camera set up to show Loki. Alright, so it looks very lost here at the moment. We got a new... There we go. Whoa, that is bright. I gotta work something out about these lights. They're just shooting off in all directions I don't want them to. Not helping. Not helping. Definitely not helping. Bloody hell. I mean, it is metal, so... I can't get to the other camera, other light. Alright. I need to get a bunch of these done up. So I guess we'll get rolling. I guess the point is, do we care about what goes on the grey, or do we care about the grey? Sorry about the intense reflection. The lights are not even directly overhead on that, by the way. Just, it's the way it is. Let's see, I need my paste spudger. Thank you very much. Naturally, I left it to get all cakey. You have a Vanta Black. Huh? Yeah. No. That would be a very strange thing to work on, a Vanta Black silicon pad or something like that. I think it would look very appealing, but I think in terms of realistic work, it would be very annoying. Artificial grass. Oh, now you're getting somewhere. John L., you want 20 ring lights? Yeah, I can do that for you. I can invoice them for you. No trouble at all. Delivering them, on the other hand, that's going to take a little bit longer. Let's see. Paste. I need my paste. Where is my tasty paste? Yeah, where is the... I was an idiot and rearranged things last night in the workshop. I got desperate. It was needing more room. And now I can't remember what I did with my existing tube of paste. The one that's open. Wait, Brain, tell me where I put it. Come on. You almost told me then, Brain. I know you did. I know where it is now, yes. Finally. The brain actually did work. But I've got to find the container. Hey, Dreams. Okay. This is it. Just gonna put the extractor on. Hey, sweetie. Yeah, just just give me a second. Naturally, food comes into the room just as I'm handling solder paste. Sorry? Yeah.
Do you want one with cream and with that, or just...
We'll start with the cream first. Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. My viewers are hopeless. They can't decide on a colour.
That's not surprising.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very personal preference.
Mm-hmm.
Which do you prefer?
Oh, cream.
You prefer the cream
Yeah.
over the cinnamon?
Yeah.
Do you
I'll
want,
still take another. Yeah.
I don't know if you can fit that. You want to put that?
Oh, that's all. Oh. They can't see me. I could be a dog for all they know. Yeah, thank you, my love. Snacking on muffins. Banana muffins specifically. By the way, these are the new boards. You can tell they're the new boards because they do not have the holes in them anymore. So hopefully that's not going to be something I regret because I've got 100 of these. What is on my glasses? What the hell is this? Crazy stuff. Really, if I had a proper silk screening set up, you basically just do one pass instead of this bollocks job that I'm doing right now. It'll suffice. Yes, it is leaded. Sorry to say, for all those who care about ROHS compliance. Don't eat the solder, Joe. But it tastes so sweet. Oh no, that'd take forever, Jim. It's tempting sometimes to do things like that, but in this particular case, stenciling is definitely the better option. I'm certainly getting too much paste on there, but I'll live with it. Yeah, a silkscreen frame is the sort of the ideal thing you want to go for. See, the problem with... yeah, man. Alright, that's Micro's insulin. getting a little out of hand there. Oh well, anyway, we're just doing the 4. There's going to be a lot of balling out. But it should be okay. Basically the problem is, as I draw the squeegee across, it lifts up the stencil in some areas, which then allows the paste to sneak in underneath the stencil. And when it sneaks in underneath, the next time you apply the pressure down, it applies that little bit of extra solder over that area, which is not what you want. So what you ideally want is a proper set up stencil framework such that it keeps things very flat. Obviously that's something I can 3D print. I'll just clean this up and then I'll go sort micro out after I've washed my hands and changed my gloves. Clearly I'm not going to give micro his injection with, lead lined stuff. There's actually a fair bit of wastage in there. Ow, damn it. Alright, I think I can put this away now until the next usage. Okay, I'm just going to go give Marco his shot. Hello, Key. Where's your brother? Yeah.
What you doing? Shut. Come here. Papa. Come here. Where are you going? Come here. Come here. You being a difficult child? Why are you all wet? You're running through sprinklers. Come on. What are you doing? Come here. Come on. There you go. You're okay. Okay. Good boy. Yeah. There you go. All done.
Loki, what are you doing in my room? Ah, fresh gloves. Ah. Yeah, I think I've got a sprinkler on out there, or Alita's put a sprinkler on out there. Either that or it's raining, but I doubt it. So I'm going to go for sprinkler. What else? Oh, yes, I need the suction device. The vibrating suction device. The aquarium pump. I mean, technically, they're designed to push air out, but we can trick them, make them draw the air, tap into where they draw the air in. Alright. I think that should about do it. Hey, Mr. Norman. Yes, Mr. Norman. It was voted off. Just putting down some tape so that I can draw those LEDs off. Need to put it down here though. And once again, of course, silicon is being what it's supposed to be and not sticking when I really could do with it to do so. I was catching up. I didn't realize about the whole BWE software thing, and I'm oblivious to most of that stuff. And I was thinking, wow, I really need to step up my game and either become more psychotic or charge more. I don't know, but it seems like the name of the game is to just get away with whatever the hell you want. I'm stuck. There we go. Alright. The only trouble with this pump arrangement is that I need the pump on my right hand side, which means the power cable goes across my legs. And that kind of makes me feel a little uneasy. Okay, here we go. Oh wow, bad start. Steady as she goes, Captain. create another type of microscope. Right, type two. Yeah, no thanks. I mean, those things already exist anyway. Those gooseneck ones, and someone else is already dealing with that kind of market. What you need to do is just go buy one of the ones off AliExpress, and then change the LED emitters in them. Just find something that you like, maybe one of the Cree elements, I suppose. Get something with the high. It's annoying that, where is it? This side here is darker. Let's see if I can't adjust the light. Not really much better. I need a laser on my lights to point where they're going. I'm feeling a little bit out of sort here with my orientations. Hopefully I'll sort myself out. I mean, the nice thing about the gooseneck ones, of course, is you do get a more, what feels like a visually nicer image, but I also find that with them, the shadowing becomes its own problem as well. So the shadowing gives you that, it feels like 3D type effect, which a lot of people like. But it also means it's obscuring something. I think the other problem is, as you move around with those, they probably bang on to the side of your... Oh, what am I doing? Doesn't matter. Extra 100 nanofarad won't hurt anybody. Looks like I forgot my DC jacks. Where are you guys? Any version of RGB. April Wave Rec and Tom Morgan. I mean, these LED lights, they actually, you do have 4 channels. So basically I'm running 4 channels of 7 LEDs a piece. So, you could do stuff with that. But quite frankly, no. One thing I found over the years of manufacturing and things like that is that most of the time, 80% of, well, for me at least, 80% of my income would come from one product. And then the rest would be more of a loss than it would be a gain. Oh man, almost got a capacitor there. So in many ways, you kind of have to resist the urge to give people what they want. I'm sorry to say. Stick with your main line. I mean, if you've got enough capital to burn, then I suppose great. I need to find something better. This silicon is just... Maybe I should stick it on a suitably long circuit board. The thing is, goosenecks and things like that, they are good for if you're doing slide microscopy. Yeah. wow, this old. Yeah, if you're working with where you've got a very fixed head and you've got slides or microtomed stuff or something like that, stuff that you're not moving the head around. I mean, I suppose you could affix the gooseneck to the head assembly. I don't know. For any issue, there's probably some workaround that's satisfactory, I guess. If I was to use a gooseneck, it'd probably just be as a filler. That's something I put in the background as a filler, which will then let you turn down your overhead light a little bit. Okay. For years I did look at getting a pick and place machine back when I was doing the model aircraft manufacturing. Never quite got around to it. There was a couple that were going second hand for around about 2,500, 3,000, which was a pretty good deal. But when I looked into them, you seem to spend more time prepping them than saving time. And it probably wasn't bad if you only had, say, if you're just going to do a production run and you had 6 components, different components in that production run, and you're going to make a couple of hundred of them. Yeah, that's sort of how you had to go. And I suppose that makes more sense. The speed was nothing to sneeze at, nothing to write home about. But as I've mentioned in previous streams, the point is that they can just keep going and going and going and going. You go home at night, let it do its thing, come home, come back to work the next day, and you've probably got a whole mess of components on the floor. But that's irrelevant. If things go well, then they do an excellent job. But more than likely, if I'm sort of pushing those volumes, I would probably then start looking to enlist a team of people or machines from another company that would do it for me. Hey, gear. Oh, geez, the proper calibrated wire thing. Oh my. I mean, it really does come down to context sensitive too. Yeah, there are some times where, okay, yep, a wire is just going to be just fine. It's kind of like when do you know when you can leave a capacitor off the board versus when you should put one on. Things like that. And like I said, it comes down to context, knowing what you're working with. Because obviously if you're dealing with some sort of boost circuit for a gate drive, then you can't leave that cap off. But if it's just random decoupling, then yeah, whatever. Oh, I see NRF was mentioned there. I've never actually watched an NRF video. I've seen so many people talking about him, but I've never personally watched one, and I'm kind of a little scared to watch one. Yeah, let's see what's going to come off here first. The tape from the board, or here we go. It sticks pretty good, that. Chocolate bar video. What was? I don't know what that is. I mean, as far as I understand, the guy has a pretty decent income and a house and all that sort of stuff. So, yeah, not that that means much, but it reminds me of, I don't know if anyone was in the model aircraft community back in 2010 sort of time, but there was a company that came out called Banana Hobbies or something like that, and they basically just beat the living daylights out of their customers, treated them insanely poorly, denied them their fundamental warranty returns, or made it a living hell for the customer. And yet that company continued to grow and grow. It was like, here is a good example of why there's probably not a lot of point in being the nice guy. And there are a lot of other companies that went above and beyond for their customers, and they just fell to the wayside. I think because what happens is you got to, with companies like this, Banana Hobbies, they rely essentially on there being a near unlimited source of new people who don't know better, and just a sheer volume of turnover to render any sort of negative voices useless. NRF is the one complaining about iPad Rehab selling homemade face masks. That's a kind of a strange thing to... Why would he be like upset about that? Was it because he wasn't making money on them, or he felt that they didn't comply with regulations, or what? I mean, I can sort of understand from a regulations perspective, except most of the time, a lot of those masks, they're there for, handling everyday life, as it were. So I think they're useful. Like if you're just down the shop or something like that, and you go, you know what, it's maybe only cutting my chances down by 20%, but I'm still content with that. I don't know. Hot topics. Come on, dance. There you go. You felt they should be given out for free. What? No. I mean, people put the work in. Does that mean 3M should have been putting theirs out for free too? I mean, geez, if people put the effort in and everything like that, no, I mean... And let me guess, he probably gets stuff from AliExpress and marks it up 100% and doesn't blink. Oh, all okay, babe? I've done micro. Oh yeah. I can tell by the style of the walk past my window through my peripheral vision whether it's something I need to check on or not. Then again, I suppose most people can. Yeah, you can tell if someone's got a different gait to their walk. You're like, oh, what's going on here? cut the nose out. Face heart. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I wish I could say that was a meme, but it's probably got some actuality in there somewhere. Hey Yeti, good evening. Okay, it's 3. Fourth one coming up. If I can maintain around about 4 devices a night, I'm probably, that's probably where I am comfortable. $5,000 Minitom. We tried the 4,000s and things like that, and it was like, nope, just too tungsteny. But yeah, the 5,000s worked out really well. Ran over my airline. NRF is no different than any other business, just happens to be on YouTube. Well, that's pretty much it. It's like, when you're in business, you're not there to be a charity. You're there to make as much money as you possibly can within the confines of your ethical standards and morals and what you can live with. And some people can just live with some things more than others. I find that my ethics and such are probably my weakest point, so to speak. Some would say it's my strengths, but in terms of, if you're looking purely from a make money perspective, there's far too many times where I have been the nice guy for a customer and said, look, don't worry about that, I'll just... But on the other hand, there are probably plenty of non-quantitative things that have been come back to me in a good way. Not everything is about the dollar, but unfortunately in this day and age, well, this world really, the dollar is certainly the dominating factor. It's not much point people saying that you're a nice guy if you're living in squalor and you're destitute and things like that. So you've got to find that balance. Some people's balance is a little bit off. 4,000 is not dim. It's more, tungsteny. It's more brown, warm. It's a little too warm for this kind of work. Yeah, it's not dim because you can have many, many lumens at 4,000 Kelvin. It's just more of the color of the light. Below 5,000 and you really find you need to increase the lumens a lot in order to feel like you can see this stuff clearly. Oh, whoops, forgot my 7805s. I find it difficult with business a lot of the time to make those hard choices against customers. When you get the customer that you know what, you probably actually did drop that phone, which is why it's now got a broken screen 2 days after you had it fixed. But you're pulling a sob story on me, and I'm in a local community, and I know that you're going to chuck a great big fit if I don't. So, yeah, for some things I don't quite have the backbone to, as it were, to call people out on their crap. I have gotten better over the years, but it's definitely still a sort of a exposed point on me from a business perspective. Like the number of times I would have another business message me and say, "Oh, that computer you fixed, well, the customer's back. It's got another problem, and they want it fixed. They think it's under warranty." And I'm like, "Well, I can't. If it's a different problem, then it's got to be charged for again. It's not covered under warranty." Things like that, where another business will basically just out-business me. Hey, Pro Engineer, good to see you. Oh, for the mat. The mat's grey, yeah. Okay, so here we go for the cook-off. I have put these ring light assemblies at the wrong end of town. Okay. Hey Jim, I was sick of your crap, Jim. Calling you out on it now. I will say that the hot plate method works very well for the aluminium boards. Not so well for the fiberglass boards. And thank you very much for the $2, by the way, Pro. Just grabbing my transfer board. And it's going to be bitterly cold here tonight. We're going to get down to 9 Celsius. That's right. Freezing cold, 9 Celsius. Wow, this thing is actually taking a long time. This is only up to 80 now. Yeah, Jim, I may shift it back. I've been experimenting around, so it will probably come back to overhead. Ah, no programming header. Ah, nasty. I just sent off some boards today. I've sent off a combined compass relay unit. And it's the sort of thing, when I went and looked at the price of the relays, I'm thinking, maybe I should have just gone for a low side MOSFET switch. But when it comes to computing, switching power, using computing, I do still prefer to fall back to relays, just for that galvanic isolation. Is it worth more for... I would probably, if I was going to bulk up on this, I would just get a 200 by 200 and then I can do 4 at a time. Okay, that one there better not give me grief. We'll see. We're coming up to reflow now. Yanked right back into place. Perfect. Beautiful. As for why I prefer to do FC4 in the oven, it's because you get a better soak of heat into the components, whereas so it's advantageous to the reflow. Whereas I find with the aluminium boards in the oven, it doesn't work quite so well because the aluminium board sucks up most of the heat and the parts don't really come up to temperature well enough. If you're wondering, yes, the parts on there are actually still liquid, or I should say the pads, but that's okay. That's already smoking away. This is going to reflow super fast. Mostly I just have to watch for the voltage regulator and the jack. Jack's taking a little bit of time to get there. I think it's good enough. Oh shit, just realised I could actually turn it off. So yeah, I do have the reflow oven for the things like the USB-C meters. I prefer to do them in there. I actually put them all through the ultrasonic cleaner this morning too. Because when I was doing the rework on the connectors, a little bit too much flux got around. I don't like leaving excess sticky flux on those boards. A little bit of like crusted flux, say from a soldering stick, but not the sticky stuff. Been plugged in for 7 days. Oh wow, that's good. Mine gets reset every night. Oh, I was worried that one wasn't going to go, and it did. Oh, our controller, on the other hand, it might be okay now. For some reason I'm forgetting to turn it off. It's not a big issue, but it's... Oh, whoops. Hey, Mr. Nash. 10:30 at the moment, so it's actually early. Alright, final one. I've got to be careful here. I don't want to get another burn on my inner forearm. For most of my 20s and early 30s, I had a burn scar on my inner forearm, this sort of area, because I was ironing a shirt one day and the shirt slipped over the back of the ironing board, and I just just reacted and reached for it, which was a dumb thing to do, because then that nice soft tender piece of flesh decided to meet up with the very hot iron. Results were not so hilarious. Now the ring lights are going good, yeah, but this is actually a new batch of boards. So you can tell the difference because these ones don't have the holes in the middle here, because we're just not mounting anything on there. We found that that blue thermal conductive strip works perfectly well. Whoops, wrong way. Ah, Teresa, yeah, that's always a fun thing to do as well. Apparently hot things burn. Seems to be a new fad. Okay, these are about ready to come off. It does unnerve me a little bit how quickly that reflow occurs. Ah, so we're not too dissimilar to Mexico City, eh? Let's cool off a little bit. Let's see if we can move the camera into a more socially acceptable position. Just widen out a little. No, you've done it now, Paul. You wrecked it. Wrecked it. It's going to drift, unfortunately. God, I hate it when they drift. It's because my lock nuts aren't up tight enough at the moment. So look at it, it's just drifting away. Dooby-dooby-doo. See how that goes. We actually have to flip that now. But let's see non-flipped. Let's see non-flipped. Yeah, we'll stick with non-flipped. Oh, exhaust pipe on the dirt bike. Secondary. Whoa, yeah, that's nasty. I have had encounters with motorbike exhausts. Usual sort of thing when you have an accident and the bike lands on you and you got this 200 kilo angry beast pinning you down and burning you. And it's like, ah! Yeah, lots of fun. Happy days, not. Hot air gun while it was just used for, okay, yeah, that, I can see the hot air gun thing being, that would be really quite painful. Alright, so now we have to inspect them, and if they don't look like they're going to burn up, then we can program them. There we go. It's kind of weird. The lights being illuminated by their own kind. Yeah, the most critical thing is, of course, this here. This is the little device that does all the LED management. This here handles talking to the switch and telling that device what to do. Okay, let's see if we've got any flipped around, because it'll be just my luck that I've got flipped around ones. I mean, ideally, theoretically, I shouldn't because of the way I load them up from the strip, but you never know. Okay, next. Once again, that one's good. Pin 1's in the right position. 7805. Could have done to be a little bit further over, but oh well. Still does the job. Cap, cap, cap. Oh yeah, look, secretly put my name in there. Oh, can't see it though. Not unless I look real careful. I wasn't sure how that was going to come up. What I should have done is done it in black stencil, but I didn't. That's okay. And this is how I make solder balls for my SMCs. Yeah, motorcycle riders are unfortunately predisposed to dying sooner. I mean, I rode a motorbike for many, many years. My first transport was a motorbike. It wasn't until about a year later I finally got a car license. There's no real need for me to pop those off. It's not like they're going to short anything, but I guess I just still can't help myself. Have I had any bad accidents? I've been fortunate I have not. And all of mine have been single vehicle accidents. Oh, that is effed up. That's very much not going to work. We'll have to redo that one. Yeah, all of mine have been single vehicle ones, thankfully. Usually rain or sand is my culprit, but I have had a couple where it was a fixation issue. If you've ridden a motorbike, you'll know what I mean. When you go into a corner or something like that and you've got to lean in, sometimes you can lose your nerve and you get fixated on the edge of the road and you can't look through the corner and you subsequently just go straight over the edge and it's like, well, that was good. Yeah, when you lose your nerve, that's on a motorbike around a corner, that's when you most likely are going to crash, and usually in a bad way. Leaving so many tiny solders on the big resistor, and there's this one here. But really, I mean, you go look at any motherboard or anything like that and you'll see them everywhere. It's unfortunately a consequence of a slightly surplus solder paste application. The opposite to this is when you don't have enough solder, and what happens is you end up with parts that don't connect. Let's see, right, where's that? This is it? Okay, so we're going to have to put a teeny smidge of flux on that and just give it a push over after we reheat it. We can't do that with the hot air gun, we have to put that back on the hot plate. It's way, way, way too much flux. There we go. Hey, Mickey. Oh, CVR 600RR. Very nice. I always wanted a VFR 400 personally from the 90s. That was my wish I had it bike. there's just something about the 400 size that I really like. But the 600s are also good. I remember when the 600 ones came out. My father had a CBR 1000 F2. That was quite a beast. Bit much for me. The real problem, if I want to, with the pace situation, the real problem is that the way I'm stenciling it on, I create too much of a gap. I need to have it so it's pressed down, because if I didn't have such a vertical gap, it'd be fine. But because I'm lifting the stencil, not intentionally, it just happens. But because it's happening, then too much paste gets under it. But yeah, I mean, I could like drop the pad sizes down. But the question is it even really worth doing that? Okay, that's done. Are stencils magnetically attractive? I don't know, actually, I've never tried. Some might be. I don't know what their ferrous content is like. A lot could depend on where they come from, I suppose. Let's see. Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I wouldn't say a great deal. I mean, there's not a lot of metal there to grab onto anyway. I suppose if you had a broad, flat magnet, that would work. Maybe I should get a chocolate silicone pad. The trouble is, when you start going with colours for the silicone pads, it means that if you should happen... Ah, great, now we're bridged there. That's okay, we can fix the bridge. That's easy enough. May as well actually attack it now while it's still hot-ish. I should be able to just rake this one. We've already got flux, we've already got solder. It just needs to be raked. There we go, like that. We'll do this side too. Perfect. Clean up this flux while it's hot. I mean, you can do it while it's cold, but it's just easier while there's a bit of... for this sort of flux. If I really wanted to get rid of a lot of the balls and things like that, I can always put it through the ultrasonic, except for the fact that I've got the navigator switch on there. And yeah, I don't think it'd be such a great idea. And unfortunately, because of the nature of the board, I can't really put everything except the navigator switch on and then put the navigator... not without causing drama. A little bit of ballage is quite okay. It's a small price to pay. And like I said, it guarantees you, or certainly better, that you're going to have actual connections rather than voids. This is Pro. Was it makes vacuum beds? Oh, yeah, things like that. Okay, why is this? Let's go a little wider. Okay, that's pretty good. Okay, time to flash. So cover your eyes. Got my very professional UPDI flasher. Very professional. Let's see. I should just find one of these on the internet or something like that. Yeah, buy someone. They probably they sell them for like $20 or something like that, and I should just buy 2 or 3 of them. You need your glasses, Paul, or else you're not going to know which ones you're lining up with. Yeah, these are CH340s as well. So maybe I should just make one with a FT232 on it. Yeah, if I'm going to go serious with my FT232, at least that's the one thing to do it on. I mean, I think the CH340 series and things like the PL 2003s? Yeah, they're an essential chipsets to have because the FT232 series was just too expensive for most consumer products. I mean, I like them, they're fantastic chips, but they had a lot of features and a lot of expense that not everybody wanted. Alright, let's see if we catch any magic smoke. Okay, we've got bright smoke instead. Maximum, minimum, halfway, turn off, turn on, and that's good. Okay. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, the FT, that's what I was meaning by it. It's got so many extra things in it that a lot of people just don't need. Most people just simply are wanting it as a serial bridge, and that's it. I think that's the one thing that a lot of, well, people like, say, myself, struggled with when we converted away from serial ports to using USB, was just the lack of being able to simply have a simple 1 or 2 wire serial communications device. You know, it was very painful, and then, you know, fortunately we did eventually get that sort of stuff. So now we're back to being simpletons again, but through the USB bus. Okay. So far so good. Hey there, Gary Field. Yeah, it's definitely not something you want to rely on as a actual income. It's good as a supplemental, but I would not want to be dependent on it as my primary income. This stuff, it's fun designing, it's fun prototyping, it's fun doing the first, 30, 40 of them. When you're working out things, you're trying to optimize your suppliers and your build techniques and all that sort of stuff. That's the fun part. When it becomes drone work, you're like, oh God, help me. Get me out of here. It's just the way it is. Okay, now we need some rings and stuff. Where are my rings? I know I've printed a whole bunch of them, so they're definitely around. Okay, what have we got? 1.7 millimeter self-tapping plastics. Thank you very much for whoever it was that put me onto those. My apologies for not remembering your name. It's nothing against you personally, it's just I'm really bad. I should really put more effort into it, and I never do, and each night I tell myself off for being a slacker. Oh, come on now, man. Vast it. Ah, here we are. There we are. A bunch of rings. The new type of navigation switch, it's not as luxury as the $5, $4 ones, but it's definitely better than the previous ones that I got. Like, these are the new ones. I checked, pulled them apart, and yeah, it's definitely better. So let's say we go 2 and 2. So I've got some clearing up to do here of these. And this is also the messy work, like, yeah, really shonky 3D printing. Somebody left the filament out, got, you know, humidity and yeah. Actually, I need to do this on paper towel. I've got a end, what is it, end of E3, very generously given to me by Therese. I will be upgrading to maybe a S1 Pro, but for now it's just the V3, and it, you know, it does a good enough job. There's nothing strictly wrong with it. This is using PETG, by the way. I'm not using PLA. PLA doesn't seem to tolerate me doing the brass inserts. It does initially, but then 6 months later it falls apart. No doubt a lot of this sort of hairiness and stuff like that comes down to my tuning of it. But I'm going to put the files up so you can always print your own. Okay, Tony, thanks for dropping in though. Yeah, the manual bed leveling is a bit of a pain. And I know people will say once you do it once, you shouldn't have to really do it again. But I find that, yeah, I do have to do it every day or so. Just things change, vibrations move stuff, I don't know, temperature fluctuations, whatever. The point is it does change and I've got to re-level it. So yeah, I'm thinking the S1 Pro, I think it's like 410 Australian dollars at the moment, would be a good investment. I don't think I get much of a speed improvement, but I think I will get an improvement in everything else. Hey, creature. Ooh, that one spat out the side. Oh yeah, Jim, look, yeah, designing this part was probably my first FreeCAD job. So I was learning FreeCAD at the same time that I was putting this thing together. So it can't be too hard if I could do it. I was using PLA Plus, but clearly it wasn't plus enough. So anyway, PETG is what it is, and yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. It is a little bit stringy though, and like I said, I'm thinking it's probably my fault. At this stage, I'd much sooner blame me than the printer. But in saying that, the reason why I might get the S1 Pro is because at least that helps eliminate some of me from the equation. So the less me there is in that equation at this point, probably the better. But I figure at least if I upload the STL file or whatever it is, then it shouldn't be any drama for people to print out another one. If something goes wrong, I've got to sneeze. Sorry about that. Human bodily functions have to occur still. I'm obviously still running the extractor fan because I don't want to breathe in more than I have to, or whatever. Australia has a fair number of below zero places. I mean, just check out Tasmania. I do like the look of the gold in the blue. Reminds me of Tutankhamun's headpiece. Ooh. I mean, up where I am in winter, I think probably the lowest we've ever seen is maybe 2. Usually 4 is about as far as we'll go. Like on a standard winter. 2 if we're really unlucky. There we go. Nylon screws, obviously, so that we don't do any damage to the Barlows. I mean, you could put metal grubs in there if you want. I just don't recommend it. There's actually quite a bit of fiddling around that you have to do after you've even done the circuit boards. So that camera's drifted back again, I see. Just trying to get it framed. Yeah. I'll have to sort this out tomorrow. Resecure all the fittings. You may be wondering why are there only 2 grub screws, or why are there only 2 screws in this. It's because I couldn't really get to the 3rd one from the back, so it was kind of like pointless to have it. And it doesn't really need that extreme level. Okay. Now, to be fair, it pretty much is like, well, I should design it the other. Whoops, design it the other way. Had this whole thing flipped around, and then that way I could have put 3 grubs in, but it still would have actually been a bit troublesome getting the 2 at the back through because you've got the heatsink in the way. So I'm happy enough with this. I've never had any problems with it dropping out. I don't have to do anything to trigger your OCD creature. do it naturally for yourself. What will trigger your OCD even more is that they're not even 120 degrees separated. Sure glad I bought a range of screw sizes, because I thought, 2 should do it, but 2.3 might be ideal. And I thought, well, I'll throw 1.7 in there just in case I need it for another project. Turns out the 1.7 is the match. Nice thing is they're fairly easy to put in too. The only trouble with the black one is, of course, I can't see perfectly well the hole is. Looks like I got it that time. Alright, last one. Alright, time for the heat sinks. I better order more of these fast. Heat sinks. And looks like I better print more blue ones. And I need 4. And I better order more heat sinks. Yeah, the screw holes and the grub holes are both basically identical because they're mirror images of each other. Feels so wasteful doing it this way, but there was no other realistic way for me to get heat sinks that are already pre-cut to size along with the heat transfer pad. I mean, I could cut my own heat transfer pads from a big sheet if I wanted, but this was convenient. They all just go straight into the bin. So yeah, it's a little sad, wasteful. Right, let's see. Time for some alcohol. And if your OCD gets to you too much, just take the heatsink off, do however you want. Jim, mostly because this is easier, less messy, and removable. And that way, people can just adjust things if they want. Strange, a little bit of lead paste there. Good reason why you always wear gloves. You don't know what you end up interacting with accidentally. It won't. I'll tell you what. I don't think it'd be too easy to have these things just drop off. It also, they're held there as well by gravity. Because when you have these lights, they're going to be. This is the top side, so the heatsink just stays on by gravity if nothing else. But with the cleaned aluminium and then the transfer pad between, it's a very good stick without being impossible. Like, it's like, this isn't even up to Elon Musk Cybertruck style, bash the window out. Yeah, that's not coming off. I'll even guarantee it in the Northern Hemisphere for you. How's that? Hey, Gary Hampton. Sorry. Pet G on this one. Okay, we're done. Geez, how long has that taken? 2 hours. That's a little bit ridiculous. 30 minutes apiece. Not too happy about that. I need that down to no more than 20. To satisfy all the customers, 2 tap screws on each side would do the trick. Would also mean more time in assembly. I did in the older versions have the 2 screws, but I've decided to do away with it. If people want to tap their way through the board, they can. But quite honestly, it's just not needed. It really is not needed. And also, you're probably not going to get a bigger heat sink than that fit in behind the microscope. Because you've got the, the holder assembly riding over the top here. So if people want to go the extra mile and do that, well, they can. There's a couple of places there where there's no traces going through and you can just drill through. But I decided after trial and error over the last year and a half, 2 years, that it's just not needed. Hey, Josh Jones. Yep, quite happy about them. Yep. So it's nice to see them coming together now, and the USB meters, of course. So these are already pretty much accounted for and going to get shipped out tomorrow. So it means I have to do another 4 tomorrow. But of course, I won't be doing live streams every night. This is more like, well, we're getting started. We will, yeah, mess around and find out. I'll just pack everything away now. Do you think about creating polar grass? I don't really feel like the reflections are enough of a problem. And the other trouble is polarizers will suck about, you know, anything from 40 to 60% of your light. It's just not worth it. I really don't get hit by the reflections issue with these lights. I used to with the 144 LED or the 96 LED type ones, but not these ones. It helps tremendously that these are already diffuse elements. If these were clear body LEDs, yeah, you'd have a point. But they're already diffuse. So you can see them, but it doesn't have that punch your eye out glare effect, if you know what I mean. Let's put that over there. Put everything back so it's ready for tomorrow when I do more pre-cut strips. Boards are in there too. Camera strip holder, components, and Lazy Susan. That. Rightio, I think we're pretty much good. Oh, I'll show you something else I just got the other day. I finally got my prism light. So that's this thing here. Doesn't really have much use with MacBooks, but if you're using an iPhone and you want to inspect a sandwich assembly as it reflows, I'll show you. I'm hoping it will allow me to be able to see what's going on. Let's see, I've got to find, what have I got? I've got a 13 Pro here. I'm not sure if I've got any sandwich boards in the clear open. Oh, I've got a 12 here, that's right, this one's mine. Never done anything with it though. Well, Mikey, maybe see what other people, see what other people feel like it's like. You know, wait it out, as it were. Damn it, that sandwich is still built in. I've got these exotic phones and I don't even do anything with them. No, that sandwich is still built in. I must have a 10 board somewhere, surely. I know I've got a 10 somewhere. It's IP7, 7 plus. Oh yeah, we've got a 10. Yep. Actually, I think this is XS. Okay. Hey there, Raj. Been a while. So this is, yeah, this is a classic sort of one that you would sandwich, reball or whatever. Except now I can't even remember where it goes on. Oh, here we go. Yep. So I'm actually seeing how this is going to be for myself because I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. I have a bad feeling about one aspect of it, but we'll see. Oh, Miles, people leaving with me, so what am I going to do? Okay. Okay, cool. Yeah, so this is... Oh, the colouring is kind of crazy. Interestingly, you don't really see it quite... Oh, maybe you do, yeah. Okay. So, essentially this lets me, or hopefully, I'm on the wrong side, that's why. Let's see. Well, that's just able to see what I need to see. Anyway, it's not so pronounced on this one, but like when you're doing the reball, yeah, getting the sandwich to sit back down, it's very handy to be able to inspect it. And I had a 13 the other day that I was trying to work on, and I couldn't see for the life of me what was going on. Interesting that the color is so oversaturated there. It's like the HDR is going crazy with it for some reason. Yeah, Mikey, except it's more like another $100 and then you've still got to get the power supply for it. Anyway, so you get the concept of what I'm trying to do here. I'm just using switch. Come on. Yeah, I'm just using this prism to give me a side view. The only downside is that your length between it might be something that you'd want to either I'm trying to think. You might want to have to go to a 0.5 Barlow if you're going to try and do some longer distances. Hey there, Michael Chan. It has certainly been a very long time. How have you been? Still doing your teaching and stuff? But yeah, Mikey, the ring lights, they're currently 79, and then you still got to get the power brick for them. So I'm looking to see if I can get power bricks, but the reason why I don't ship with power bricks is because they're heavy, and if I've got to go up to the next... oh, you can actually see it right here. That there is the side view of that. You can... That's crazy. I can actually do it like this. That's as far as I can zoom. You don't have to use a glass prism. There's no reason you couldn't use like a first surface mirror. That would also work perfectly fine. I would go first surface mirror rather than a standard mirror. Oh no, the prism. No, I just bought this off. I just bought that off AliExpress for I don't know what. I think it was $20 or something. Then I just made a little holder for it with a little notch at the bottom so I can drop it in like that. You can actually put it in different orientations to get different reflective qualities. Probably nothing useful. No, it's going to fall out. Yeah, anyway, that's not how it's meant to be. There. Yeah, I just grabbed the prism off AliExpress, but yeah, you could just use a first surface mirror, which would probably be a lot easier, and then you could put it on a pivot, and that would, yeah, much easier. Minitum, it's, yeah, just a glass prism so that I can see 90, side on. But as I was just saying, you could easily use a mirror, and in some ways a first surface mirror would be, well, it's going to be a lot cheaper. The main problem will be, though, that trying to get good quality ones with a high degree of reflectivity may be the more costly exercise, whereas getting prisms with fairly good transmissive qualities isn't too hard. Anyway, so yeah, so that's the plan for that. It's just purely just to inspect while it's happening, and that's it. I might even be able to use it on MacBooks if I want to do a CPU reball or something. Not that I'd ever really do that. I mean, I know it can be done. I know people do it, but it's just not my kind of thing. I'll leave that to other people who want to do that kind of thing, who have the equipment and the room and the temperament to handle that. Alright, well, I think that's it for tonight. It's 11:30, which is actually a pleasantly early time for me. It means I can actually go out and do other things, get outside, spend some time with the fur kids before we bring them in for the night. And yeah, we've got the 4 ring lights done. I am waiting on still the mini USB sockets, and then I can get back to producing more USB-C meters. Fortunately, I've got a surplus of them right now, so it's not an issue. But yeah, the next day or two I should get those mini sockets, and then we're good for probably another 100 units of each before I have to start, fishing around for components again. This is just this is a 30 by 30 one, so it's a 90 degree. Yeah, it's not a equilateral one or anything like that. It's just straight 90 degree. So yeah, it sort of, I suppose you can say, yeah, it's got a 45 degree face on it. Yeah, Jimbo, mini USB, not micro USB. I don't use micro USB. It's too flimsy for me. I'm too much of a brute. Mini USB's got some strength to it. A lot tougher to break them. Alright, I'm out of here. Thanks for watching, and thanks for enduring the pink and blue. Yeah, maybe I should... so remember, if you want them, they can come back at any time. Maybe one day I'll do a special. Anyway, you have a good night. I'll see you later.